Hello, and welcome to the newest episode of the Drive Home Podcast. I'm your host, and I am poor until tomorrow. So unbelievably so. But that's besides the point. Anyway, let's drive this podcast home. So, I'm probably going to be talking about Xenoblade Chronicles X again. I love it so much. It's such a good game. An amazing game. And yes, I did talk about some of the downsides about the Definitive Edition, but the upsides are greater. I'm just a little bit upset that it lost some of its originality. I mean, I don't know how other people truly feel about it. The game's barely been out, but I don't know. I'm a little upset it didn't stay closer to its roots with, like, how some of the designs were for the UI and such. But, so, at this point, I am, I guess, midway through Chapter 5. By the time this comes out, plenty of people have plenty of time to play the game. I've been taking it really slow, because I wanted to enjoy my first true replay of my favorite game of all time. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it at my own pace, do what I want. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be playing the crap out of it. Like, whenever I have free time, I'm playing it. But, I am going to take my own pace at it. I can't remember which one exactly, but if I remember correctly, I think during my first playthrough, I got stuck somewhere between Chapter 5 and 8. And I couldn't progress for a long time, which is really funny to me, I guess. Oh, it is in retrospect. At the time, it was a bit upsetting, but oh well. So I beat Chapter 4 since last time, and some things that I kind of forgot about. So, overall, I did, still not, like, I haven't beaten it, so I don't know what the new ending is like, or, well, the new post-game is like, but, what I do know is that, it is said that the Nopon originate from Mira, the planet that you are on. As well as the Nopon, L's race. I forget what they're called. But as far as I know, L is the only one of his kind we really see. At least from memory, I don't remember ever seeing any other of L's kind in the games. Or in the I guess in general in the games. Because, I don't recognize L at all, and I played the first Xenoblade Chronicles, and then I've been playing, I played a little bit of 2, and I didn't see anyone who looked like L. But also, in Xenoblade Chronicles X, L, as far as I know, was like one of the only one of his kind remaining at the time, or their kind. I'm not sure. V's kind. I don't know. L always refers to themselves in a plural, which is kind of confusing. It could be because they learned English in a broken way, or well. I guess it would be English, but considering it's New LA. But it was the American branch. But I don't know. So El is part of an ancient, or a very old race of people or creatures who exist on Mira. And they are sentient, and they are humanoid in shape, though their skin color differs. I know El happens to be blue. I feel like if there were any others, they might be able to be like pink. But I don't remember. Possibly green. I'm not sure. They kind of remind me of like dragons, if dragons were human, or like they had human features, or so like it's a human, but then you give them like dragon horns and a different skin color, kind of, if that makes sense. Because and El doesn't have trouble communicating so much, but El speaks very broken language, I guess, depending on what language you play the game in, I guess. But I did start chapter 5 earlier today, and so that was in chapter 4. And chapter 5 has the most incredible line in the game, probably, that's spoken by a character. That line being, "There's something about this planet." Probably. Well, I'd have to re-listen to it, but yeah. There is something about this planet. Or, I guess it would be there's something about this planet. I just say there is, but I believe it's theirs. But semantics, I guess. So one of the things about the planet Mira is that, actually, I don't remember. I don't want to say this, but if I remember correctly, because I played the first game around the time that it came out, and I played it for a long time, and so excuse me if I'm wrong, and I'll correct myself once I figure it out, or if necessary, I will correct myself. So, take it at face value up until I correct myself. Or take it as truth, or close enough to the truth, until I correct myself. But the planet seems to have some sort of... So, I guess some of this is speculative. But, so, to get to to be direct and curt, I believe is the phrase. The planet allows different species to communicate, and you will, through something, maybe almost directly thought translated, but you speak the words, and when you speak, it's heard in the other creature's language as its own. I think this is the case for sentient life, or true sentient life, because there are many animals, or they're indigens, is what they're called in the game. Which I believe it's a 2-word meaning, technically. So indigenous, I guess it would just be indigenous. point is that I guess if you have some level of sentience and you're within, I'm assuming, the atmosphere of the planet, your words are essentially translated to whatever that needs to hear it, I guess. So, all the aliens in the game are all speaking their own language, but the interesting thing is they all sound like they're speaking the game's language that you said at the beginning. I don't know what language that is. For me, it's English. But and so I think that's why L sounds or speaks the way they do, because I think it's because the planet's only like being able to half translate, because L is speaking a broken version of a language that we understand, and that's why L's language is so different. Then, and I mean, things are kind of like interestingly translated, like obviously, the Nopons and their the additive of pawn onto a lot of words, and the trend to end words with a Y sound, or like I guess an E sound. And the reference, like the familial pawns, I guess, right? So to reference one's family by naming the family, well, not naming the family, but naming the type of family relationship they are, naming the relationship they are to you, and then putting a pawn at the end. For instance, I did one of the Affinity quests I did has Tatsu meet locate his mother, and I believe Tatsu is referred to as Sunny Pawn at least once. But Tatsu has a bunch of siblings who are nameless as far as I know, but at least as of this moment in the game. But later on, I don't know. But anyway, they end up mentioning, so a dad, if you're referencing your dad as a Nopon, you would say Dada Pawn. And I believe a mother is Mommy Pawn. And then there's Brother Pawn and Sister Pawn. You might also be able to say Sissy Pawn, but I don't know. Anyway, language is interesting, and speaking of language, I did as part of Chapter 5, I have encountered the Menon, and I have destroyed one of the anti-air turrets that the Ganglion have. Oh, right, heavy spoilers, by the way. Though if half these words mean nothing to you, good on you. The Menon sounding like Alvin and the Chipmunks is hilarious to me. I find it funny. And yeah, no, I was thinking about it. I remembered their intense. So I've yet to get to this part because I haven't beaten Chapter 5. But later on, I do remember their hurriedly excitement for the P word, I guess. It must not be mentioned in front of them, otherwise they would go into a excited shock or whatever, scrambling to find it. But I'll tell you, because it's funny and it's a game spoiler, kind of. I don't know, it's a funny plot point. They are obsessed with pizza. The Manon race, obsessed with pizza. And also, interestingly enough, they only came to Mira a year before we did. I wonder what constitutes a year on Mira. I don't remember if that was ever stated, because there's not like any weather patterns or cycles for different seasons. It's just like permanently like one type of weather. I'm assuming it's summer or some equivalent of that, because I mean, other than in Sylvalum, it like everything is relatively bright. And I guess you could say Calderos is pretty dark too, but I mean, everything is all glowy with lava, so what are you gonna do? I have not done any affinity missions that would give me additional party members yet. I do, however, I mean, it was really easy to do because it was one of the first affinity quests you can do in the game. I did gain Alma? I forget, but no, it's Alma. I got her melee art, Shadow Strike, so that's pretty useful. So far, I've maxed out the first 4 classes, and I think I'm because I wanted to just go straight through the line and do them, but you need way more XP later down the line, and that kind of put me in a stump, so I decided I would max out at least the beginner 3, so I just have arts at all times when I would be playing later, I guess. But I think I'm going to be a Galactic Knight again. I like the general stuff that they do. It's pretty fun. Plus, I love lightsabers. The photon sabers are awesome. But I haven't actually touched the Blast Fencer class yet. I think I'm saving it for last just because once I switch to it, I probably won't want to switch away. But also, I do want to max out the longsword gunner, or the longsword and assault rifle, and the dual blades and dual guns. And I do want to max out the ray gun and knife combos. Mostly the ray gun and knife, honestly. I have to do that at some point because I need the one of the cheese methods to get XP and such is forcing a monster to become under your control and then like spamming a certain ability until it dies. And I've gotten to that point on Arena where she has access to those. So if I can, because Arena uses a knife and it's in their knife skills. But if I can get Arena's class to level up more, so I can get the rest of the reinforcement. I guess art is what I should say, because skills are different. But anyway, if I can level up Arena a bit more to get the rest of the skills required, to boost the effectiveness of that. That would be great. But also, if I can get my own character to get access to it, that means we can double team it, I guess, which would be nice. Well, anyway, I've been home for about a minute now, and I kind of want to go inside. So, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Drive Home Podcast. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, you don't have to. I hope you all have a great next 24 hours. And as always, see you next time I drive home.